जाना है, अपनी ज्योत से ज्योत जगाने शिव बाबा आए हैं। अपनी ज्योत से ज्योत जगाने शिव बाबा आए हैं।
Mansarovar becomes a place to grow, heal, and step into a more empowered version of ourselves. Man-
Om Shanti. So please be seated. There is a change of program. So we will have the tea break later, and we will have the next session now, The Power of Positive Self-Talk by Bala Bhai. But before that, we'll do a quick activity. So please, can you all stand? There's no point going outside. There's no tea outside. So please. The tea will be there after the session, so there is no point going outside unless you want to use restrooms. Yes, okay. So, yesterday and today, and through the visuals, we have realized that we are a powerful soul. And how is the soul? How does the soul look like? You can't see it, but how does it look like? A point of light, a star. So we all are star. So I'll tell you something to do, and you have to do it only if I tell the star to do. For example, I say hands up. So I haven't said star hands up, so you don't have to do it. When I say star hands up, then you have to put your hands up. Okay? ठीक है? Clear? बैठ जाइए. I didn't tell the star to sit down. Okay, this was a demonstration. This was a demonstration, only a demonstration. Abhi, it's a game. So if you do not do it rightly, if I say star and you don't do it, or if I don't say star and you do it, both ways you are out. Then you will be made to sit. Okay, and we'll be honest because we have to quickly do this in 2 minutes and then start with the next session. Okay, star hands up. Okay, now don't look at me. I'll not do it better. Okay, I'll just say hands down. जिसके हाथ नीचे हुए बैठ जाइए. Honestly, जिसके हाथ नीचे हुए बैठ जाइए. Star hands down. Look up. Star look up. Star look down. Star look up. Star look down. Star turn towards right. Star turn towards front. हाथ ऊपर. हाँ, जिसके हाथ ऊपर हुए बैठ जाइए. जिसके हाथ ऊपर हुए बैठ जाइए. आप आउट हो चुके हैं. Okay. Star bend down. Stand straight. जो सीधे हुए बैठ जाइए. जो सीधे हुए बैठ जाइए. जल्दी बैठ जाइए. Star stand straight. Star scratch your head. Hands down. जिसके हाथ हिले सर से जुदा हुए वो बैठ जाइए. Honestly बैठ जाइए. Star hands down. Star clap. Star stop. Clap. हाँ, जिसने हाथ उठाए वो बैठ जाइए. जिसके हाथ उठ गए वो बैठ जाइए. ठीक है? Okay. Star jump. Star keep jumping. Star stop. Star hands up. Hands down. जिसके हाथ नीचे हुए बैठ जाइए. Okay. Star hands down. Star hands forward. Hands down. हाँ, नीचे बैठ जाइए. Star hands down. Okay. Star smile. Star laugh. Star stop. Star bend. Become straight. हाँ, थोड़ा हिले तो बैठ जाइए. थोड़ा हिले कोशिश की तो बैठ जाइए. Star straight. ओके आप लोग बहुत अच्छे से कर रहे हैं, अच्छे से कर रहे हैं ना, जो बैठ चुके हैं वो मानते हैं अच्छे से कर रहे हैं। हाँ, एक बार आगे आ जाइए, आप सब जो बहुत अच्छे से कर रहे हैं सभी आगे आ जाइए। मैंने स्टार को तो नहीं बुलाया। कौन कौन हिला भी नहीं अपनी जगह से वो हाथ खड़ा करे। ओके सो यू आर द विनर्स ऑफ द गेम। थैंक यू। थैंक यू। आई होप यू एंजॉयड। यस, so we will begin with the next session now and we'll have the tea later. सब्र का फल मीठा और गरम मिलेगा आपको, इसलिए थोड़ा सब्र के बाद हम चाय पियेंगे, ठीक है? तो I now call upon Bala Bhai on stage for a very powerful session, the power of positive self-talk.
Okay. Okay. Prafulla, are you ready? Okay. Okay, while we set things up, tell me one point that you picked up from Shivani Band's session just now. What is that one point you remember? Yeah, you can look at your book, it's okay. Visualization. Responding in a positive manner, changing your destiny by changing your affirmations. Your circumstances are because of your karma, okay. Who am I? I am a soul. Yeah, good. 2 hours before sleep, disconnect from work. Okay. Learning into action, very good. Everything happens for my betterment. Okay, good. 1 minute meditation, very good. Yeah, vocabulary should be positive affirmation, very good. Okay, good. Be positive. While cooking, yes, yes, yes. Good. Start and do any activity with positive affirmation. Communication with supreme power, very good. Okay. Purpose of human being, okay, good. So now we learn something more interesting. We talked about digital wellness, we talked about the power of thought, we talked about the power of positive affirmations, as you heard. Now, one of the things that you must have learned by now is, I am the master of my mind. I, the soul, am the master of my mind. Yes or no? Do you believe in that? So, how do we display that mastery on a day-to-day basis? If you are a master, you should be able to display that mastery, yes or no? So, how do we display that mastery on a day-to-day basis is what we will discuss today. No. Is it possible to keep the laptop here? Sorry? Okay, will you do the changing? Okay. So this is from Bhagavad Gita. It says, Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmanaha. Bandhu means friend. Eva means only. Atma is its own friend as well as Ripu means enemy. Okay? So you are your best friend and you are your worst enemy. Or I am my best friend and I am my worst enemy. Now, how do I become my best friend and how do I become my worst enemy? That is what we will learn today. So that when we become aware, we can start becoming best friend rather than inadvertently I becoming my own enemy. Next. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to give you a tough exercise. Ready? Okay? Write down, write this number. 1468 multiplied by 7567. 1468 multiplied by 7567. Now, put your pen and paper down. Calculate the value in 20 seconds and tell me. I asked you to calculate, why are you laughing? Okay, stop. What was the first thought that came to your mind as soon as I asked you to calculate? What is the thought that came? Just tell me the thought. Nothing about right or wrong. It's impossible. You thought about calculator and mobile. Time consuming. Can't do it. What other thought, first thought that came to your mind? You started multiplying. How can I calculate? Wow. ये क्या बकवास करता है बाला आके? हाँ? It's a joke. अरे वाह. हंसो. No. Okay. Now, whatever those first thoughts that you got, as soon as I asked you to do that calculation mentally, that is self-talk. Whatever I am thinking, whatever I am telling myself at every instance, that is self-talk. That is what I am telling myself. Once you told yourself it is impossible, did you even try? You started laughing. And then you made it a joke also. तो बात खत्म ना, एक बार जोक बोल दिया तो करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. So you see, what did you tell yourself? That is what we keep doing constantly, moment by moment. And unfortunately, this is something we are never taught. What I tell myself determines both my happiness and sorrow. A lot of my sorrow, more than 95% of my sorrow, is self-generated. Let's explore that. Praful Bhai, it'll take a little more time. No problem. So things that are not in our control, we are not going to worry about that. Remember the lesson? So I hope he won't get tensed, but we will continue. And this self-talk is so important that every instance, as soon as I gave you the definition of self-talk, also you must have started thinking, this is interesting. I never thought about it. ये तो सही है. Now that is also self-talk. Whatever thinking we are doing, just below your conscious thought level, it happens so automatically, somebody had to tell you that it is self-talk. You see how automatic the process is. And depending on what kind of thoughts I am generating, what kind of conversation I am having with myself, it determines what I do in the next instance. I'll give you a specific example which we all can relate to. There's a meeting happening, your boss is there, he presented something, and you saw that there is a mistake, and then he says, if you have any questions, you want to make some corrections, please speak. Now, what is the first thought that comes? There's a mistake. And what's the immediate next thought that comes? Nahi. ये क्यों झंझट में पड़ना है? Last time I know what happened when I pointed out. Now this is a self-talk you're having with yourself. And then what happens to your next action? It is not automatic. It is actually determined a split second before. You decided that I am not going to speak. That is the first thought. That is the talk you had with yourself. And then you stopped. You see how fascinating. What I am telling myself determines what I do next. All these conversations that you have learnt here, all the meditations that you have done, if you are not going to watch yourself and then start practicing, these will not become a part of your life. Because your self-talk, the regular sanskar se bari hui self-talk, that will take over. And that is what we should start changing first. Take a simple example, how this self-talk also influences our even motivation level. You have to write an exam, okay? And in general, we don't know what comes in our exam. I'm saying in general because otherwise there are a few other ways, but otherwise we won't know what's going to come in our exam, correct? So, when you think about the exam, two kinds of thoughts are possible. One, how much ever I struggle, I will not get more than 40 marks because I know this sir or I know this madam. I will not be able to get. And the second is, I can give my best, I will get. I will give it a shot. Now this is the second type of thought. When you have the first kind of self-talk, what happens to your motivation level? Down or up? When your motivation level is down, what happens to your effort? Up or down? Then the probability of you getting higher marks, up or down? In the second case, it's opposite. Now see the fascinating stuff. You don't know what questions are going to come in the question paper. You haven't even started your preparation. You don't know whether you can answer them or not. Without knowing any of these, you are able to reduce or increase your motivation level just by your self-talk. ये नहीं होने वाला है, करके क्या फायदा? तो करूंगा ही नहीं. Problem solved. I know, Bala, I can't do it. It is not for me. It is for people like Shivani and you. मेरे से नहीं हो सकेगा. अच्छा है, खाना वाना मिलेगा. That's what my colleague said. I came, slept very well even during the class sometimes, and then now I am out. Don't expect anything more. Because you already decided. And constantly, that's the kind of self-talk you're having. So that self-talk is what inhibits you from giving your best. What am I telling myself? So when you have that thought, when you are learning something new, when Shivani Ben talked about the smriti or the affirmations, do you actually believe that, yes, this is me? Or do you believe that, no, this is not me? Even before you start doing something, then and there you can make out. What are you telling yourself? Yes, I can do this, or no, I can't do this. And once you decide that you can't do it, nobody can change. Even God can't change. We are so powerful कि भगवान खुद भी कुछ नहीं कर सकता है. Because I have decided I can't do it and I will not do it. But we forget that we can use exactly the same power the other way. Depending on what I am telling myself. So what I am telling myself is so much more important because minute by minute, I am governing my experience based on what I am telling myself. I'll give you another example. I tell my team members, now I don't have any team because I've changed my role, but in the past when I was managing my team members, I would tell them openly, in front of everyone, you can say, Bala, you're an idiot. But then I will say, show me the data. Otherwise, it's just your opinion. Now, when somebody tells you an idiot, when will you feel bad? When you subtly agree with whatever they have said, only then it will pain you. Now, I am not agreeing with whatever you said. You can think that I am an idiot, but I don't agree with you. I can withhold my agreement. Now, what is causing me pain? Whether you saying idiot or me agreeing with what you said? Clearly, tell me that. Are you able to get it? Now, who is giving sorrow to whom? Zor se. If I am creating the sorrow to myself, then if I am the writer, director, producer, hero, heroine, villain, वो self-talk का सब मैं ही हूँ ना? Now, if I am the creator, if I am the producer, if I am the hero, if I am the director, can't I change it? Yes or no? Whether I want to change it is different, but I can always change it. Do I want it? That's what you need to decide. Because once I decide, then I can start behaving like a master. Smriti se samarthi. I can control. Because since childhood we have been told, मन कुत्ता है, बिल्ली है, पोकमैन है, ये है, वो है, anything. घोड़ा है, हाथी है, सब भी सुना होगा ना आपने? No, वो है, मैं ये हूँ. कंट्रोल करना नहीं होगा, तो करने की कोशिश भी नहीं करूँगा. That's it. And then we say, I can never control my mind. I have become a slave of my mind. No, you forgot that you are the master of your mind. Now that is the fundamental change in awareness that I learnt with Brahma Kumaris. सृष्टि को परिवर्तन करना है तो सबसे पहले मुझे अपनी स्मृति को परिवर्तन करना है. जब तक स्मृति में परिवर्तन नहीं आएगी तब तक सृष्टि में परिवर्तन नहीं आएगी. बिकॉज फ्रॉम स्मृति कम्स माई एक्सपीरियंस, माई अनुभव, एंड फ्रॉम एक्सपीरियंस कम्स माई एक्शन. From action comes the consequence, and the consequence creates the srishti or the world around me. It all starts here. That's why almost all change management initiatives, almost all those huge projects that are taken up by United Nations and all these countries, they want to change the action to change the srishti, but it has to start from smriti, my awareness. Fundamentally, that is what needs to be changed. Until you don't change that, you won't be able to see the change around you. It will be temporary. And that smriti is where this self-talk impacts. What am I telling myself minute by minute? Okay? So self-talk refers to that internal dialogue that goes on in my mind constantly. Familiar? This is self-talk. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. This is a fact. This is what it happens. Okay, this is how things are. The story I tell myself about my life and experiences, because we are extremely good storytellers. And that's what we are telling ourselves constantly. Something happens, we tell a story to ourselves. And why is this important? Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoho. Bandhan means bondage, sorrow. Moksha means liberation, happiness. Man alone is responsible for my happiness and sorrow. When will I feel happy? When will I feel sorrow? Bandhaya vishayasaktam. When my mind is completely glued to all the things around me, including that little piece of glass and metal we talked about. Vishayasaktam. Asakti means, it's a very interesting word. Wish, the meaning of wish in Sanskrit, it's not poison, means that which attaches itself to, or that which has a property to attach. Vishay means the property of Vishay itself is to attach to our mind, attach to our thinking. So, bandhaya vishayasaktam, when I develop that asakti, that interest in all these things external, my mind gets trapped, and that gives me sorrow. Muktyahi nirvishayam smrtam. Nirvishayam, when I learn to keep my mind away from these things that are causing me sorrow, that I develop that detachment, that is what gives me happiness. So mind alone is the reason for bondage and liberation. Mind is influenced by senses, it creates bondage. When mind is free from influence, it leads to freedom. That is the first step. That is why you are introduced that I am a point of light. There's a reason. Because I am beyond this body. In my smriti, in my consciousness itself, I move beyond. And that's why at Brahma Kumaris we learn this concept of double light. Ek ye light or dusra sthiti bhi light. Even my state of mind is light. And what I am telling myself, as you have seen, it influences my mood, my decisions, my behavior in any given instance. When will you get irritated? When you have that negative self-talk. What the hell is he doing? She was not supposed to be doing. First that thought comes, and then it comes into action. But if I'm able to stop it there, which is what we will discuss now, then it will not even come into action. Do you want your mind to be like a jungle with weeds? Like this one? Anyone? Okay, nobody is creative enough. Okay. You want your mind to be like this? All of us? Yes or no? Zor se? Yes. Good. So nobody wants this. Everybody wants this. Now comes the interesting one. You know that. Do you plant a weed? Anyone? Anytime? They grow on their own. But a garden needs maintenance. So now if you want a garden, but you don't have time for maintenance, just because you want a garden, will the garden grow or will the weeds grow? Well, that's a decision you make. And what thoughts I create on a daily basis, that is what waters this weed or garden. Because constantly if I am negative, will a garden grow? What will grow? Weed will grow. And what you talk with yourself, that self-talk is what is watering those weeds or garden. What are you seeing here? Go ahead. Bird, yes, holding something. Very good. Holding a child. Can you see a couple of legs? Some grass, water, some birds in the background. All of these? Yes? Now what do you see? Just tell me what you are seeing. Are you able to see the fish? Are you able to see a boat? Are you able to see two trees? Are you able to see some tents? Now the water is receded to the background. Yes? As almost all of you have figured out, it's exactly the same picture. I just turned it upside down. Yes or no? Now I want to ask you, is there a fish here? Is there a bird here? Is there a boat here? Is there a beak here? The best answer is it depends. A yes and a no. Both of them are valid. Yes and no. What did I change? What did I change? I didn't change the picture. I didn't change a single pixel. Did I? The most important lesson you will learn from here today. When I change the way I look at things, the things I look at change. When I start seeing myself as somebody who is weak, who cannot do anything, what will I get? What will I see? That is what I will see, all my weaknesses, all my past failures. But if I start seeing myself as somebody who is capable, who is a master, who can do things, who can create the destiny, then what will I see? When I think my team members, these fellows are out to get me, I can't trust them, horrible fellows. If this is the approach I take, how will I look at them? even a small mistake will be very big because the projector is always on inside here. But instead, if I look at them as somebody, they are all learning, I am responsible for their growth, sometimes they will make mistakes. So when they make mistake, what will I feel when I start thinking like this? What will I feel? Will I get upset? Or will I give them an opportunity? Exactly same mistake. How I viewed and what kind of self-talk I had with myself determined my response. So please write this. I am more powerful than I think I am. I am more powerful than I think I am. It's just that I am not aware. That's why most of the time I go on autopilot. So you take control, charge of your thinking that I am the master, and see the difference it makes. And this, for those of you who are interested, is also called as Pygmalion effect in management. Pygmalion, Pygmalion effect in management. What it says is the belief of the manager on the capability of his or her team members influences the team members' performance, all other things being equal. If I believe my team members can do it, then the way I behave with them changes. I'll give you an example again. You're a manager, and there is a rising star in your team who in a few years is going to take a position, and you're grooming that person. So you're presenting a design, and this person gets up and says, sir, there is a mistake here. You will say, वाह, मेरा डिजाइन में ही पकड़ लिया ना, इसलिए तू मेरा वारिस है. Okay, now next. There's another fellow whom you don't consider to be bright at all. Okay, he's just chugging along. That's it. Same scenario, same design. You present, and then that fellow gets up. It's genuine, it's a mistake. That fellow gets up and he says, sir, ye mistake. Bet. Because he's not supposed to find. He is not bright enough. I don't believe you can find it. So I will not trust you. But exactly same mistake. Depending on my belief, I treat my team members. And my treatment creates the kind of response from them. And that starts with what I am telling myself about that team member. That's why I said I am more powerful than I think I am. Because there is some reality out there, and I add my own masala to it. My own interpretation, my own self-talk. And that is what becomes my subjective experience. Most of the times I think it is a reality. It is the stimulant, whatever is stimulus here causing my response. No. How I am interpreting the stimulus, that is what creates my response. If our relationship is good, you are my best friend, and you say something to me, I won't feel bad. Because my interpretation is different. But if our relationship is not good, even if you say something right, I can misinterpret it. And I can feel sad, bad, mad. But it's not your words, but it is what I am telling myself that is creating my experience. That's why we say self-talk is the invisible architect of our subjective experience. What I am feeling moment by moment is governed by what I am telling myself. Many a times you must have met your mentors or your parents who say, you have this capability, I can see it in you, but you are saying no. वो मेरे में नहीं है. They are saying आप शेर हो, you are saying no, मैं बिल्ली हूँ. Because that is what you are telling yourself. Whatever you are telling yourself, that is becoming stronger and creating that self-image. वो संस्कार बन जाता है. What we tell ourselves, I'm really out of shape. Why should I try? It's not going to work anyway. What you just did a few minutes ago. The only kind of luck I have is bad luck. I never win anything. Nobody likes me. Sometimes I wish I'd never been born. Right? If you have that last kind of thought, please contact us. You should not be getting those thoughts. At least after 3 days of retreat. Now this is also positive self. This also I can tell myself. When I say positive self-talk, I am not saying you have to fool yourself. There's a difference. And there are specific consequences when I continuously keep telling myself negative self-talk. Anxiety, distress, depression, loss of self-esteem, all of these increase. Depression is not an event, it's a process. First, I will start feeling helpless. Then continuous feeling of helplessness leads to hopelessness. And continuous feeling of hopelessness leads to depression. So whenever you start feeling helpless in any part of your life, sense that and catch yourself. Take help. And when you do positive self-talk with yourself, it enhances your attention. It helps in managing stress, allows you to control your emotional reactions. And it maximizes skill development because you start with this thought, I can do this. You don't start with, I can't do this. Makes a big difference, all other things being equal. And that's how it influences our decision making. And health, we discussed this yesterday. When my mind is upset, my brain sends a not okay signal. When my mind is relaxed, my brain sends an all okay signal. Rigid and negative self-talk, it is linked with a lot of mental health and physical health diseases. There's a very clear causal relationship. How one causes the other. And a lot of literature is already published. But when you speak with yourself with a compassionate fashion, when you're accepting, and that leads to higher levels of well-being. We all fail. That's fine. Failure is a part of our life, yes or no? We'll fail more often than not. That's fine. When you fail, where is your attention? What is your self-talk about? Is it about your learning from the failure, or is it on your feeling? A lot of times, or almost always, my attention is always on my feeling. And what is a feeling when you fail? Maza aa gaya. Acha fail ho gaya. You never feel that, right? You will always feel sad, bad, mad. So when you feel sad, bad, mad, and when you are continuously making those thoughts, and that is the self-talk you are having, what will happen to your motivation level? You won't even see that there is something useful from that. And this is what Shivaniben meant when she said, even if something good does not happen, accept it, because focus on the learning. When I start, I will always not feel good when I fail. That is a given. But where is my focus? Am I continuously thinking about that feeling, or did I start thinking about my learning? What can I learn from this? How can I become better in the next attempt? And that also is a result of your self-talk, what you're telling yourself. And positive self-talk increases your psychological immunity. I shouldn't say this, but most of the millennials that we see in office, they have become absolutely delicate lilies. Really delicate darlings, touch me not. One thing happens and they are not able to take it. Because most of the times they are the single kid. Parents pampered them. They have never heard a no in their life. You know, sometimes the other day I was discussing with Shivani Ben, she said, Bala Bhai, हम तो बचपन से no सुनते सुनते बड़े हुए हैं. आइसक्रीम चाहिए? No. सिनेमा जाना है? No. TV देखना है? No. That is how we grew up. That is what strengthened our mental muscle. But today's kids, they don't get to hear enough of no. And that is what is impacting their psychological immunity. And when we talk negative with ourselves, that also weakens us. Yes or no? When you keep on telling negative about yourself to yourself or about the world, do you feel good or do you feel bad? And negative self-talk decreases your psychological immunity, and by increasing psychological entropy, that is the disturbance. Now, another very important insight. Every situation has two things. One, what are the facts in the situation? And two, what is the story I am telling myself about those facts? Very important. And my response depends on the story I am telling myself. My feeling depends on the story I am telling myself. I'll give you a simple example. You have your colleague at office. For the last 3 years, both of you go for lunch together. She comes, waits, you pick up your box, you both walk to the cafeteria to have your lunch. On that day, there's a new person who came into the office, and lunchtime, she just walks you past to that person. What is the fact? She didn't stop at your desk. Did you inquire? Did you ask? No. कहानी शुरू हो गई. 3 साल से मेरे साथ जा रही थी, आज एक नया बंदा आ गया एक ही दिन में. ऐसे ही है. कोई बेस्ट फ्रेंड नहीं है दुनिया में, किसी को मानना नहीं चाहिए. चल रहा है. And you are already feeling sad, bad, mad, sweating. खाने का दिल ही नहीं लगता है. पनीर लाया लेकिन दिल ही नहीं है. ये लोग ऐसे ही है. And by then that lady comes back, your friend, she comes back and says, shall we go for lunch? He needed some help. There's a fact that she didn't stop, but there's a story. Now, who is the writer, director, producer, villain, hero of that story? And we are such wonderful storytellers. चाय पे गए स्टोरी, पानी पीने गए स्टोरी, यहां आके बैठ गए स्टोरी, चलता ही रहता है. What story I tell myself during the situation determines my state of mind. What am I telling myself in any situation, irrespective of good or bad situation? What story I am telling myself? That is creating my emotions. I am the writer. Now, if I am the writer, if I am the director, and if I am the producer, what does it mean? It means I can edit my stories. And that's very powerful. That's very, very powerful. If I am generating my sorrow, it means I can also stop generating my own sorrow. If I am capable of generating my sorrow, I am also capable of generating my happiness. Fantastic. बाला भाई ये बदल जाए ना, जिंदगी सुधर जाएगी. ना वो बदलेगी, ना आप बदलेंगे. Yes or no? So I need to change, right? Because I need to edit the story. And the longer you repeat the thought without challenging it, the truer it becomes. Very, very, very important. Whether it is about others or about yourself. The more you repeat a thought, the truer it becomes. You will start believing it. ये सच है, ये सच है, ये सच है. There is no data. That is when somebody asks, show me the data, you feel shocked. You will say, मेरे से data मांग रहा है? You won't trust me. मैं कह रही हूँ, मेरे से data. You're just asking data. But because you repeated that thought so many times, you started believing it. Just because you believe does not mean I have to believe it. Now this is a mistake we do. Whether in relationships, with the self, or with the others, whether at home or at workplace. And repeating the same story over and over again is overthinking. Ask yourself. That's what is overthinking, right? Because I keep repeating the same old story. And it goes on autopilot. I'm not able to stop it because I forgot that I can stop it. स्मृति ही नहीं है ना, तो समृद्धि कहाँ से आएगी? I thought I can't stop it. When I've decided that I can't stop it, will I try stopping it? And even if I try, will I succeed? No. So I give up. And then I suffer from overthinking. I don't have to. Because I forgot that I created this story. I can stop this story on its tracks. So when I say aham atma mama shariram, this is what it means. I am the master of my mind. I am the master of my feelings. I am the master of my emotions. I create them. See the power I get? I decide whether to feel bad or whether to feel good. You can do what you want, but I will decide. And see the power that gives. And that's when you move from the old way of blame thinking. Traffic jam made me angry. Cancelled flight really frustrated me. You see how we make external things responsible for our state of mind. And that is victim's mindset. A master would never say that. I feel angry when I sit in a traffic jam. Now, traffic jam can't be changed. And I have to go through it. Now, if I feel angry, that means if I am generating anger, I can also generate peace, right? I can also listen to something. I can also plan of how I can use the traffic jam. Then what happens? Every day you will actually look forward to, because something more productive has happened during that time. Yes or no? Now the traffic jam hasn't changed. It is only getting worse. But your response changed because how you are interpreting the traffic jam changed. Don't underestimate that power. There are very few instances which cause me harm which are beyond my control. But more than 95% of my sorrow is I generate. Right? You remember that saying, "Aa bail mujhe maar." Keep hitting. Because that's what I want to be, because I forgot that I am your master. Now I need a volunteer. Can one of you come onto the stage, please? Anyone? Don't get scared. Don't start your self-talk again. Do you have a notebook on which you have written something? Please get that. You see, suddenly शुरू हो जाता है. पता नहीं क्या बुला दिया. I don't think I. Relax. We're just having fun. Please come up. Yeah. Please start reading what you have written. Only he will understand his handwriting.
Okay.
Start reading.
Any line, correct?
Any line.
Yeah. Self-talk influences our decisions.
Please read.
Yeah, one, okay.
Please read.
The longer you repeat the thought without challenging it,
No,
then,
read.
then, you know, yeah, sorry.
Read.
I can't read.
Why?
It's come too close
His
to
own
my hand.
notebook. His own notebook, his own handwriting. When it was here, he was able to read. When it was here, he is not able to read. Why? What changed?
The distance,
And what did the distance influence?
reading.
What did the distance influence? What did the distance influence? My
Reading.
clarity.
Clarity.
Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. Give him a big hand, please. Your pen. Now, this book is the situation in my life. Did I create that detachment so that I can see the facts? Or did I bring it so close that I am not even able to see the facts? This is clarity of distance. This is your problem only. You have to sort it out. I'm still holding it. I'm not running away from it. But can I create this distance? Instead of getting emotional, can I see what are the facts? I failed in this exam. That can't be changed. Finish. What are my next steps? You see some people, even after 2 years, they keep crying, remembering that they failed. You failed. Yes. Now that's a fact. Can I create that distance and then say, now what next? It's in my hands, right? So any situation, I can always detach myself and look at the facts rather than bringing it so closer. This is attachment. This is detachment. My problem, your baby, you only have to handle. It's still with me only. But create that distance. When I create the distance, my clarity increases. And I'll start seeing the facts for what they are. Then my decision making improves. Because I accurately look at those facts. And that is why on any spiritual path, in any spiritual practice, you are encouraged to practice detachment. Detachment is not dissociation. I'm not running away from the problem. I am only detaching from the problem. So by default, the negative self-talk starts. Oh my God, it's the same project again. Last time I goofed up, so I am sure I will goof up again. You haven't even started. But instead, just because I failed last time does not mean I will fail again. Let me try once again. Now, which kind of thoughts have higher probability of success? This one or this one? Can I change this one to this one? But it needs little time, little reflection, little space, little think time. That's why it is so important. It's time for my daily punishment. I have to go to gym. Once I finish exercising, I always feel re-energized and in control. Depending on what thoughts I am making, my response and my feelings completely change. I should be able to enjoy myself when others begin to behave in a better way towards me. Unko badalna hai. Instead, I say, I am responsible for my behavior and I cannot control others. The sooner we realize this, the better, the happier we are. I can change my self-talk from default negative to positive. So if I want to practice, if I want to change this negative sanskars, what is the model? What is the framework? What are those 1, 2, 3 steps, Bala? Here they are. The first D is you detect. First become aware. Detect. Once you get that negative or waste thought, once you detect, disrupt. Stop it. Don't indulge in it. Because whenever I indulge in a negative thought, I empower that negative thought. That is how thinking works. Whenever I indulge my negative thought, I empower my negative thought. Simple example. Your friend comes one day and he starts talking some nonsense. But you give him chai, pani and biscuit. Next day when he comes, you do the same thing again. Next day when he comes, you do the same thing again. Fourth day, where will he go? Even when you are busy, रोज चाय पानी पिलाए ना, बिल्ली को भी पिलाओ तो वो भी आ जाएगी टाइम पे. It's the same thing with our mind. The more I engage my negative thought, the more that negative thought becomes stronger. Now go back to the previous principle. The more I allow that thought to be repeated without challenging, the truer it becomes. You see, that's how the mind works. So the best way is disrupt, stop. Once you see that it's a negative thought, stop. And detach. This is not my thought. Even if it is coming from my mind, this is another trick the mind plays. Just because a thought is generated inside your mind does not mean it is true. Very important principle. Please write down and reflect on this and practice this. A lot of overthinking, lot of anxiety, the root cause is only one thing. A waste or negative thought comes, I don't stop, I repeat it, it keeps getting repeated, and I start believing in it, it becomes true, and once it becomes true, it becomes sticky. So if I stop engaging it, if I stop it there, it will never stick to my mind. So when a waste thought comes, don't accept it that it is your thought. It's not my thought. There's this young kid who goes to his grandfather and says, "Grandpa, you always said that there are two dogs inside my mind. One is a good dog, one is a bad dog. But you never told me which dog wins. And you said they keep constantly fighting." And the grandpa looked at the grandson and he said, whichever dog you feed. Whichever dog you feed. Right? You feel the bad dog, that will win. In every duel. But you feel the good dog will win. So once you detect, you disrupt, you detach. And this detachment is very important. This is not my thought. I'll give you another example. One of my team members, after a few years, he came searching for me. He found me because he was living in our own colony. He said he was working in a very good company, earning more than 10 lakhs a month. Okay, and I'm not joking. So this fellow comes to me and then he says, Bala, I need your help. I said, why? I mean, you're in a good job, fantastic. Aur kya chahiye? And he recently bought a big villa in our colony. He said, no, I've stopped going to office for the last 2 weeks. I said, why? He said, there's too much of these negative thoughts, they keep coming. Even if I want to play with my kid, there is some noise inside my head that says, you're not worthy of it. Dekh apna shakal, kaisa hai? And you are the one who think that you'll work there? You can't do it. And this thought has been coming so constantly that I'm completely paralyzed. Now I can't do anything. I need your help. His name, I'll just give a fictitious name, okay? Don't give the real name. Assume his name is Shekhar. So I said, can you pick a name that rhymes with your name, but you don't like it? So he said, acha theek hai, Baker. Ek hai Shekhar, dusra hai Baker. So I said, every time you get a waste or a negative thought, you say, this is Baker making the thought, not Shekhar making the thought. And you start having conversation. You make a decision. You want to spend time with Baker or you want to spend time with Shekhar. And every time the thought comes, a waste or negative thought comes, you detect, you disrupt, you detach, because this is how you detach. This is not my thought. This is Baker's thought. And then you say, aap Qatar mein hai, pratiksha kijiye. Because I'm busy now. I'm busy with Shekhar. Baker always wants to come and speak with you. There's always that one more person inside your head. Will you give time or will you ignore? Rehem dil mat bano. Just ignore. He'll come again, ignore. Again after a few minutes he will come. He won't go anywhere. Ant tak wo aate rahega. Likhe rakho. But the only thing is, with this practice, the interval with which he is going to come back or she is going to come back to you, that interval will increase. That means you are more peaceful, you start making more positive thoughts, you are more relaxed longer and longer and longer. Because you are not giving any importance to that Baker. And you won't believe, in less than a week, he was doing good, and in less than 2 weeks, he went back to his office. Because now, he doesn't allow Baker to disturb him. It does not mean those thoughts don't come. He doesn't entertain, he stops them. He says, Baker, mere paas time nahi hai, because I'm busy with Shekhar. Very, very important, because in the world outside, as we move ahead, things are going to deteriorate. A lot more things will happen both at a personal and professional level and the societal level, which will increase our anxiety, on which we have no control. This is the way we should control. When I control my mind, then the whole world becomes like heaven. When I can't control my mind, even if I go to a 7-star hotel, it looks like hell. And that controlling starts with what I am telling myself. So the third D is detach. And the fourth is dispute. A lot of times we start believing our thought without disputing it. For example, you are preparing to give a talk and you have never done that before. Now you start telling yourself, a waste thought comes, you can't do it. You have never done it before. How can you say you can't do it? Yes or no? So you dispute. On what, Bala? On what basis are you saying that you cannot speak? Where is the data? You coughed a couple of times and then you say, COVID aa gaya, COVID aa gaya. Where is the data? Did you lose your smell? Did you lose your taste? Did you get fever? Did you do your RT-PCR? You dispute. Bala, check. It's okay. Everybody will cough, drink some water, and keep observing yourself. Now, this is a self-talk I will have with myself. I will dispute. I will not get carried away with my own waste or negative thought. Do I have that control or not? Yes or no? Yes. So I can dispute my thoughts because it's just a thought. It's not true. So one of these retreats we were doing sometime last year. So this lady from HR, from one of the companies, she came to the retreat and during the session, after the session, she came to me and then she said, you know, for the last 10 days, I'm not able to sleep properly because this thought keeps coming back to me again and again. And I want to apply this. I said, please do. So next day morning, she comes to me and says, in the last 10 days, yesterday night was the first night I slept very well because I learned to ignore that thought. I was not believing in it. I was not agreeing with it. I said, detect, disrupt. Detect, disrupt. How many times do I have to do? For how long do I have to do? Lifelong. But the distance keeps increasing. The more you practice, the lesser will be the incidence. It's not that you do it once and it will go away. No. As I was telling you yesterday about the positive self-talk, if I have to develop an RCA, that root cause analysis, until 20 minutes it will work. But after 20 minutes, again this stupid thought will come. Kahan aake fas gaya? Again I will tell, stop. Focus. Stop. Focus. Finish it. Right? That is a positive self-talk. That's how I'm changing. So you dispute, you detect, disrupt, detach, dispute. And that's when you will be able to design. Without doing those other 4 Ds, if you jump only here, the whole thing gets muddled. As soon as you detect, disrupt, and then you start consciously designing. 4 questions to ask in any situation. First, what are the facts in the situation? My boss said so and so. That's it. It's just a fact. Yes, it is there in the email or it's there in the call. He said so and so. That's where you stop and then you look at it. You don't add your own masala to it. Next, what is the story I am telling myself? So from today on, by default, don't allow your story to emerge. Do I have enough data to worry or become sad, bad, mad? Do I have enough data? And where is my focus? On the problem or on the solution? Samadhan Swarup, Samasya Swarup. You are my team member. You keep coming late to office. I observed that in the last 2 weeks. I call you into my office. And what is the first question I ask? Usually, what is the first question I ask? Why are you coming late? Absolutely useless question. Because he will give me 1,000 reasons. He will do Ganga Jamuna. He will make me Ganga Jamuna. And tomorrow again he will come late. Did that help? This is problem-focused questioning. It should be solution-focused. I would ask, I observed that in the last 2 weeks you came late. From tomorrow onwards, if you have to come on time, what should you do? What should I do? All those 1,000 reasons for coming late are irrelevant. You see how much of our time we waste on problem-focused thinking. On samasya swarup ban jate hum. But instead you move to solution. Now tell me, what should you do? What should I do? Now I'm not even asking. Bacha aisa hai, mother-in-law aisa hai, father-in-law. What will you do? What should I do? Come back. Let's talk about the solution. Right? So, where is my focus? On the problem or on the solution? So, when you speak with yourself, replace that I with your name, and this is how you speak with yourself. And the best one I like is this one. Bala, you are enough. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? You tell yourself. Can you do that? Now? Make those thoughts. Tell your name and then say this. Slowly. Feel it while you're saying it. You feel better? Simple, that's meditation. Me giving time to love myself. That self-compassion, that self-love is what we need. When I am rejecting myself, when I am critical about myself, when I don't want to live with myself, how can I live with others? You can even start writing your daily positive self-talk journal. Spend a few minutes. Some of you might be doing gratitude journal. Some of you might want to start this daily self-talk journal. It helps. And remember, you are the master of your mind and you can change your self-talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala Bhai. And we have a very special senior brother from Brahma Kumaris. So we got a chance to pull him to the center. He was actually going up hills. And he is the additional Secretary General of the organization. And he's also the multimedia chief of Brahma Kumaris. In fact, the foundation of IT in Brahma Kumaris, he was one of the pioneer instruments to lay the foundation of IT in Brahma Kumaris. So I welcome on stage respected brother Karuna Bhaiji, who is presently the Director of Public Relations and the Chief of Multimedia of Brahma Kumaris, and also handling the responsibilities of Additional Secretary General. He is also the Secretary of the Raj Yoga Education and Research Foundation, which has these 20 wings, and IT is one of the wings. He is also the chairperson of Media Wing, and he is the founder and head of Peace of Mind TV channel and secretary of Radio Madhuban Community Society, and also the Radio Madhuban channels, and the India coordinator for BK Global IT Team Video and Public Relations. भाई जी कह रहे हैं बस बस क्योंकि भाई जी के पास समय कम है, and as I already said, we pulled him into this campus because he is going for a very important program and meeting up hills. So I request Bhaiji to please bestow his blessings. This is the last day and it will be a wonderful experience to go back with your blessings with us. And I request Yashwant Bhai to welcome Bhaiji with a bouquet of flowers.
Om Shanti. I am very happy to see you all, young ones, because मैं समझता हूँ कि जो आज के 85 years में जो चेंजेस हमारे टेक्नोलॉजी में हुआ है, ईश्वर की दया से अभी तक भी देख रहा हूँ, एंड आई एम एंजॉइंग इट। ऐसा नहीं लग रहा है कि भाई शरीर का जो उम्र है और हमारी जो माइंड में जिस तरह से जो उन्नति हो रही है उसको समझ पा रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मैं इसको फॉलो करता जाता हूँ। जैसे अभी बहने कहते थे कि भाई 2 टेलीविज़न चैनल, सैटेलाइट चैनल्स, पीस ऑफ माइंड एंड अवेकनिंग यहाँ से चलता है और 24 आवर्स है। आज तक तो पूरा हो गया, 24 आवर्स वी हैव टू रन इट। और रेडियो स्टेशंस भी 4-5 स्टेशंस हम लोग मैनेज कर रहे हैं यहाँ से, वो भी 24 आवर्स है। बट आई डोंट थिंक यू फील एनी टेंशन विद मी। जस्ट बिकॉज जो आपने अभी 2-3 दिन यहाँ टाइम दिया है, आई एम श्योर यू आर मोर रिलैक्स्ड देन at your place. Am I right? तो इसलिए there is not much to say anything about what we are now today, क्योंकि इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो भी इतना फास्ट होता गया, और जितना फास्ट कर सकते हैं, जैसे दुनिया दौड़ती जा रही है आजकल, जो इवन वॉर इज एट स्काई, तो इट इज़ ऑल जस्ट विद योर सॉफ्टवेयर्स। परंतु सो फार वी यूज्ड टू फील आवर सेल्फ हैप्पी दैट कि भाई हमने बनाया है, ये सब चीज़ हमने बनाया, इवन रॉबर्ट्स, तो इट इज़ पार्ट ऑफ आवर IT एफर्ट्स। पर अब कुछ थोड़े दिन में, या मे बी द प्रिपरेशन वॉज टेकिंग प्लेस, एलन मास्क के वगैरह लोग जो है 600 सैटेलाइट्स के और इंटरनेट सारे वर्ल्ड में देने का ये वगैरह जो चलता रहा है, अब उनके लिए भी अभी प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, क्योंकि उससे भी आगे थोड़ा सा और जा रहा है। जो हाँ आप लोग भी अभी सोचते होंगे, जो कुछ भी हम अभी कर रहे हैं, तो एवरीबडी यूज वन वर्ड ऑफ 2 letters in everything. They want to add that artificial intelligence, AI, everything, everybody is trying to use it. हमारा AI में है, हमारा AI में है। Maybe it is good also, but sometimes we find that the progress is so fast, तो हर चीज़ जैसे ऐसा लगता है कि भाई ये तो आउटडेट हो गया अभी। तो इसलिए टेंशन तो रहेगा, पर ये आई भी नहीं कर सको तो ये तो ज़रूर कर देना। टेंशन के आगे अटेंशन ठीक है, वो टेंशन जो है वो आप यहाँ छोड़ देना। वी हैव टू हैव द अटेंशन। तो आई एम हैप्पी टुडे बिकॉज दैट मैं अटेंशन रखता हूँ, जो भी कर रहे हैं, जो भी हो रहा है। एज ए मीडिया पर्सन, दो आई हैव completed my design and development in mechanical, but then I changed my profession after coming to the organization in media, क्योंकि ये जो शिक्षा यहाँ मिली है तो इसके लिए मीडिया से ही हो सकता है जो वर्ल्ड तक पहुँच सके। तो हर बार कोई भी नई चीज़ कोई बनाते हैं तो आई गो इनटू इट एंड उसको यहाँ इंट्रोड्यूस करता हूँ। यहाँ जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी है आप देखते हैं तो जहाँ भी होगा वर्ल्ड में उसको यहाँ आई स्टार्टेड विद द फर्स्ट कंप्यूटर ऑफ 64K कमांडर। एक कीबोर्ड था और ब्लैक एंड वाइट टीवी और वर्ड स्टार लगा के हम लोग कंप्यूटर का शुरू किए थे। आज तो हज़ारों कंप्यूटर्स है, लैपटॉप्स है, स्मार्ट फोन्स है। So I don't feel that old because I always live with the technology. So I am happy to meet all of you where you are on the highest level of technology today. तो मैं यही चाहूँगा कि आप सब कुछ करना, साथ साथ में जो शिक्षा आपने यहाँ से सुना है या अनुभव किया है तो वो भी अपनी साथियों को, बिकॉज हमारा लक्ष्य ये नहीं है कि भाई जितना हम एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सके एनर्जी लोगों से, वो हमारा लक्ष्य नहीं है, वो विदेशियों का है। चाइना में भी वही करते हैं। द फर्स्ट फैक्ट्री आई विजिटेड इन जापान वाज कैशियो। मैंने देखा मशीन और एक मैन, इस प्रकार से चल रहा था वो, और किस प्रकार के उनका लाइफ होता होगा। तो ये है, तो इसीलिए मैं यही कहूँगा कि भाई हम सब एक ईश्वर के संतान हैं और हम दूसरों के सुख जितना हम देते हैं उतना हमको मिलेगा। दैट इज़ द लेसन व्हाट वी लर्न हियर। हम खुश कितने रहते हैं वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, परंतु हम साथ में जो जितने लोग हमारे साथ हैं, आर दे हैप्पी, आर वी गोइंग टू गिव देम मोर हैप्पीनेस। तो बस इतना हम कर लेते हैं ना, तो ईश्वर भी हमको गले लगाएंगे, क्योंकि ईश्वर ने सृष्टि तो बनाया, बहुत अच्छा, बहुत सुंदर बनाया है। एवरी मॉडल, एवरी वन लाइक्स, हर एक अपना बॉडी को अच्छा समझते हैं। कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि अपनी फेस को बुरा समझे, ऐसा नहीं है। ईश्वर का ये है। तो इसीलिए ईश्वर की ये एक पार्ट जो है इस समय पर, तो सभी सुख तो चाहते हैं पर कैसे प्राप्त करें, तो वो थोड़ा सा इस ईश्वरीय विश्वविद्यालय में आपको सिखाते भी है, बताते भी है कि गिव सम टाइम फॉर योर सेल्फ, सिंपल वर्ड में। नहीं तो हर एक के लिए कहेंगे, घर वालों के लिए भी कहेंगे कि भाई नहीं आज तो बिल्कुल नहीं, आई एम वेरी बिजी, माई प्रोजेक्ट इज ऑन द लास्ट स्टेज। पर अपने लिए तो नहीं कहेंगे ना। तो इसीलिए यहाँ से एक दो बात फाइनल करके जाना है कि कुछ समय आप अपने लिए निकालना है। तो बेस्ट टाइम तो हम 4 बजे से बोलते हैं सुबह, जो आपको टाइम उसमें निकल सके 6 बजे के अंदर, तो दैट इज़ द बेस्ट टाइम फॉर आवर सेल्व्स। तो उसको हम मेडिटेशन कहते हैं, या एक बहुत अच्छा टाइम है, अमृत वेला कहते हैं। एंड देन आप जो चाहते हैं कि मैं खुश हो जाऊं, मेरे फैमिली सब खुश रहे, बच्चे खुश हो, तो ऐसे ही हमारे कांटेक्ट में जो आत्माएं आते हैं, कैसा भी हो, कोई भी हो, हाउ आई कैन मेक देम हैप्पी, वो आपके सामने आते हैं। प्रॉब्लम लेके ही आते हैं, या कोई ना कोई स्वार्थ होता ही है हर एक का, पर वो खुश होके जाते हैं। इवन ना भी कर सके तो भी उनको इतना प्यार से, इतना इससे खुश होके जाए, तो ये एक लक्ष्य लेके आप जाते हैं, तो आई विल बी हैप्पी एंड श्योर दैट यू विल कम नेक्स्ट टाइम हियर विद सम ऑफ योर फ्रेंड्स। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti, Bhaiji. Thank you so much for your inspirations and letting us know what to do next. Thank you. So एक बार हम भाई जी को ये एक हाथ की ताली, फरिश्ता क्लैप से हम भाई जी का थैंक्स करते हैं, because भाई जी is like a flying angel now going for another program. And now we have a short break, tea break. I know some of you have already had tea. For those who want to have tea, can have tea. And please be back in 15 minutes. We now have a very important experience sharing session and closing session with some action plan for all of you. So we will begin the next session. It's a very short one. So we'll begin in 15 minutes. Please be back after tea.